Welcome to the dark side of BEASTwriter. I'm your host, Ryan Sakamoto, and today, live from Raiders headquarters, we are going to be breaking down all the news, notes, and quotes from today's presser with Tyree Wilson. Now, as you can see, I'm not in the comfort of my own home. I'm actually here at Raiders headquarters, and I'm actually if you guys followed me during training camp and before that, you guys would know this is where I kind of do the live streams if I have time to do them before I go home and get that out of the way. But yeah, I'm doing it inside the media workroom. It's a separate office space here. And again, it's really, really cool that they allow us to go ahead and do that. And we can get our work done, right? And so very, very excited. I'm kind of running on empty here, just to be quite honest with you. Really upset with myself because, like I said, you guys have excuse me, hit the button. Say I'm hitting buttons now that I don't normally hit. That's how tired I am. But no, I'm running on literally 60 ounces of coffee just to kind of keep me awake here. And we're gonna power through. Like, no excuses, right? No one's gonna feel sorry for you, right? I don't feel sorry for myself. It's just the nature of the grind, right? If you want to be a beast and do beast things, then you got to freaking put up or shut up, right? So here we are. And again, you guys expect me to get it right. Obviously, I'll be 110% honest. I was totally off my ball game yesterday, and that's on me, right? I'm not making excuses. Now, all these trades that happened, there's no way that you can expect all those trades to happen. I hit on two of the trades that I thought would happen, especially with the Eagles, right? I had a feeling they were going to do that when talking to my NFL circle, and then also providing that analysis before hitting up that NFL circle and saying, hey, look, like, what do you think? And then saying, well, what do you think? And, you build up those relationships, and, it's a guessing game at this point. But at the end of the day, you make it this best educated guess that you can, come up with the mock draft that you have. And that's why you guys follow me. So I was running the grades on everything. I actually didn't do so bad because when you compare it to the top ESPN NFL mocks that I compared to, again, the standards, right? The Daniel Jeremiah's, the Lance Zierleins, the Todd McShay, Mel Kiper, we got Bucky Brooks in there, right? We got Peter Schrager in there, right? So Matt Miller, of course, who used to be really good with the draft, and Bleacher Report, now ESPN. And so Charles Davis is also on that short list. So again, I like to go up against the standard. Just to put it out there, I came in third. So it wasn't something that was unexpected. I kind of had a feeling I'd finish like average, with those guys, but even they got it wrong, right? So it's just like the only one who really stood out, and I'm like, holy cow. It continues to be, again, that's why these guys are standard. I only have a certain few that I compare to. Daniel Jeremiah, DJ gets it. That should be a hashtag. DJ gets it. He does a really good job. And DJ talked about Peter Skoronski right before the draft process, and kind of talked about Peter Skoronski, and we thought he was a better guard than a serviceable offensive tackle. Obviously, the first rated offensive tackle that I had on my board was obviously Paris Johnson. My favorite offensive lineman, of course, was Peter Skoronski. So I saw more of a guard interior lineman. And again, the way things fell into place was correct. How I saw it playing out was how I saw it playing out in terms of positional needs and what teams would likely do. It's just the picks were off because there's a domino effect anytime. Like the Arizona Cardinals, who expected them to move back from 3 to 12 to 6? I mean, that's different layers. But hey, that's the game that we play in, right? And you got to make those predictions. So Monty Ossenfort, I knew he was going to make a trade back. I mean, I reported that, right? I just didn't think that he would trade back up into the top 10 for Paris Johnson. But he did that knowing that obviously Paris Johnson was his target. So I apologize for not getting it right. I apologize. It's my bad. And like, no excuses, man. No excuses. Ryan Rangel, thank you so much. He says, salute Beast. What's going on, man? How you doing today? Jordan says, thanks for grinding out there, Beast. You can see the fatigue, but you're pushing forward. Can the Raiders pick up a starting linebacker on day 2? Or are we rolling with Spillane and drafting depth? This is a question that I think you again, I'm thrown off my game. And so like the reason why I got little to no sleep again is because, you know what? I was like, I need to come in today with a conviction that I'm going to get it right. Right. Like I can bounce back from this. Right. It's not like it's like this, right? How you handle adversity, right? Like if you're a boundary cornerback, you get beat for a touchdown. You don't be like, oh man, like I got beat by a touchdown. Coach gonna be like, so what? Have a short-term memory. Let's go. Like the game still goes on. Ain't nobody gonna feel sorry for you. Ain't no go. You have hurt feelings. Like what the hell? You like no one could care, right? Who cares? Next play, man up. So here we are, right? So let's go ahead and talk about that question. But thank you so much for the support, Jordan. I appreciate it. Can the Raiders pick up a starting linebacker? Absolutely. I think they can. And I love Divine Diablo. Like, I like Divine Diablo a lot. I like Robert Spillane a lot. Covered him with the Steelers, right, for SI. But at the end of the day, it's like this. Like, what we know and what we don't know is really... And again, there's a lot of leaks that are out, a lot of smoke screens that are out. So we really don't know what's going on. But at the end of the day, it's like, nah, man, I can bounce back from this. I know I can bounce back from this. So let's go ahead and break it down, right? Okay, so when running the game film, as you guys all come to love, right? And so, which makes me different, not better or worse. It's just different. We talk about these different players, right? And people saying here at Raiders headquarters, we're having conversations on Joey Porter, on some of these other Hendon Hooker. Are the Raiders going to go ahead and make a play for him? And for me, it always comes back to trenches, right? And I think that's the inside out mentality that the good GMs always go with, right? It doesn't matter if you're GM Dave Ziegler, Brett Veach, GM Eric DeCosta, Omar Khan, right? You already know you build teams from the inside out. If you do it the other way around, you're not going to be in the NFL for long. Just ask Mickey Loomis. So you have to have that mindset, right? And so when you do that, you kind of have a strong conviction on what these teams are going to do, and then you prioritize based on the horizontal board in any given draft, right? Because again, you want to look at the board. I honestly still firmly believe in my conviction that the Raiders wanted Paris Johnson Jr. I think they wanted him at 7. Unfortunately, Monty Ossenfort, who comes from the same tree, the Bill Belichick tree, wanted Paris Johnson a little bit more. Could the Raiders have catapulted from 7 to 6 to assure Paris Johnson? Looking back, sure, they should have done that. Oh my God, they should have done that. They should have done that. They should have drafted Jalen Carter. It's like, no, man, like I would, if I was GM Dave Ziegler, I would have stuck to my guns too. Like I wouldn't be like, no, man, I'm not gonna trade up one pick. No, I'm not gonna do that. If he falls, he falls. If not, we're gonna let our board talk. And credit to them, right? Credit to that scouting department, Champ Kelly, DeJuan Daniels, Sean Herock, Andy Dengler, I say DeJuan Daniels already. Lenny McGill, all these guys, right? They do. Brandon Yergin, of course, director of college scouting. All these guys do a very good job at formulating the board, and they let the board talk. And I'm very, very impressed, right? Because nothing was leaked, right? Nothing was leaked. And all the beat writers got it wrong. Like there's not one beat writer here. And there's a reaction video to once we heard that Tyree Wilson got selected by the Raiders, where everyone was just like, whoa, wasn't expecting that. But in my mock draft, you guys know I had him going to the Seattle Seahawks at 5. So when you look at it and peel back layers of the onion to get to the core, and now we're going to be talking about Tyree Wilson. There's 30 of you guys watching in here. Just give this video a thumbs up if you like what I have to say. Sorry, I'm rolling on empty right now. And Kevin Lurk says, "Be sleep is a good thing." Yeah, it is a good thing. Unfortunately, I'm stubborn in that way. Like I always grind it out, right? I always grind it out. No excuses, man. Like when I'm on prep for a show at bodybuilding, look, this is how we look. Like on like the week of the show, like this is how we look. I'm not joking. And somehow you just got to power through. When the lights come on, it's time to shine. But yeah, here we go. Steven says Joey Porter at 38 or Steelers got him at 32. That's a great question. I'm hearing that Steelers are looking to trade back. Omar Khan wants to pick up a few draft picks, but then he also needs a cornerback, right? These are the two pressing needs that I evaluated coming into the draft, right? Because they did do some things in free agency as far as letting some people walk. But at the end of the day, and then brought in a lot of talent too, right? So they brought in Cole Holcomb. You got in guys like Landon Roberts, brought in guys like Patrick Peterson, Keanu Neal, Allen Robinson. The list goes on, and I don't know how I'm doing this right now, like for real off the top of my head. Hopefully I'm getting this right. I feel like my brain is just on repeat right now. I have no idea how I'm on this live stream doing this right now. J. Peachy says Raiders now have the longest total wingspan of any edge duo in pro football. Let's go. This is a good good point. And I talked about Tyree Wilson's arm length with him shortly after he got drafted. I said, you know what makes you so special using that arm length? And you guys know, if you watch the game film and you guys have been following me here on YouTube and in the Dark Side of BEASTwriter, and you guys know how I feel about Tyree Wilson, right? A proverbial boom or bust prospect. But that's not to say he doesn't have Pro Bowl potential. I see that in his game. But can you do it consistently, specifically in run-based defense, right? For me, it's all about the run base. Can you be a tone setter, anchoring at the point of attack? You talk about his versatility. You can line him up in a 3-point stance, a 2-point stance, a 4-point stance. It don't matter, right? Different techniques, line him up, 4, 5, 6, whatever the case may be, right? He does a really good job at times. But then there's also times where you look at it and be like, man, like, what happened there, right? But then again, Champ Kelly alluded to, every first round pick that you draft, because there's only so many grades in any given draft on round one talent. We talked about this. Everybody has their flaws. Like, I have flaws as a beat writer, right? There's definitely things I can work on. Like, you might think I'm a first round pick, but nah, man, like, you're not really a first round pick, Beast, because you may be drafted in the first round in the top 10, but they're banking it based on your potential in your predictions and analysis, not so much for your analytical, I don't know how to explain it. Not so much for your daily reporting. I do daily report. I don't know how to explain it. Anyways, you guys get the I'm trying to put 2 and 2 together. There's always things you can work on, right? No matter what, right? Iron sharpens iron mentality, leaving no stone unturned, not being a know-it-all. That's the Raider way at 1475 Raider way here at Raiders headquarters. But at the end of the day, I was thinking last night, I was like, you know what? Could this guy be the next Aldon Smith? And this is my comparison. You guys know how I talked about him in Aldon Smith comparison early on. I worked with Aldon Smith. I know him personally. Like, I see the same traits. I see, and drafted number 7th overall, right? As Paul Gutierrez pointed out yesterday, we were talking about it because me and both Paul Gutierrez covered Aldon Smith with the San Francisco 49ers. And it's funny because he's like, hey, Beast, come over here. So he has me there. And then he's like, who does this guy remind you with? And it's Tyree Wilson. And I said, Aldon Smith. And then the next, he had it on a tab and he said, Aldon Smith. So we both see similarities, right? Like, in terms of, like, I think what he brings to the table. Can he do it consistently? Look, Aldon Smith came onto the scene as a situational pass rusher. You got to remember, he had Aldon. See, I'm dyslexic too. So I was going to say Aldon Brooks. I meant to say Ahmad Brooks. Ahmad Brooks there, Navarro Bowman, Patrick Willis, right? And then you also had, gosh, who else was the other outside linebacker that they had at the time? But anyways, before Aldon Smith became a full-fledged starter, you had guys there, right? And when you look at that and put it all together, it's like, okay, you have talent around you. You don't have to be the focal point of the defense. I can see the same dynamic playing out with GM Dave Ziegler and that scouting department, and they really like his arm. Like, look, I'm 5'5", dude. Like, I want to be 6 foot. Actually, I just want to be 5'6". Can I just gain an inch? But sorry, Beast, you're just 5'5", man. I'm sorry, man. You're short. Like, you're vertically challenged, as GM Trent Baalke would say. I'm sorry, I'm not going to draft you, right? I wish I was 5'6". Dude, Tyree Wilson has a 36-inch, 35 and 5/8, right? 35 and 5/8 inch arm length. You don't think that definitely doesn't grow on trees. So you see the NFL traits, and you see the high weight speed conversion being 6'6", 271, and you're saying, hey man, this is next Aldon Smith. So do we take the top edge, and not saying that he can't be? He could be potentially be better than Aldon Smith. I don't know. You don't know. We don't know. But it is crazy to think that for me, I think they wanted Paris Johnson as their number 1 rated offensive tackle, and that's what I had going, right? My mock draft. I rolled people on Peter Skoronski, then rolled back into trading down with the Philadelphia Eagles for Jalen Carter, which happened, but wasn't with the Raiders, of course. And then I rolled back into Paris Johnson finally. Write this down. Ultimately, it ended up being Tyree Wilson. Now, I did think that if they were going to go defense, I think the top rated on their defensive board was Devin Witherspoon. And thank you, John Schneider, for taking Devin Witherspoon. Legion of Boom is back. Got Quandre Diggs there. Hopefully Jamal Adams can come back from injury. And you have Tariq Woolen. Oh my gosh, here we go. All right, there's 41 of you guys liking this right now, or watching this right now. Give this video a thumbs up if you like what I have to say and like the exclusive content found nowhere else. but only here in the DOB. Write this down. Flinko, thank you so much for your Venmo donation. I got that last night. I appreciate that. Yeah, for those who wanted to donate through Venmo, you guys can do that. It's in the description box below. So if you want to send me a donation for my hard work and effort, you guys can do that if you have a Venmo and would like to support the DOB here. And yeah, everybody who reached out last night, I know you guys are watching because you guys watched my mock drafts. You guys, thank you, appreciate it. Tired. I am tired. D Menace is salute beast. What's going on, D Menace? Kevin Lurker says, get a linebacker today. Get a linebacker today. All right. All right. So there's 40 of us watching. We have 29 likes. Let's get those likes up, and then I'll go ahead and gather my thoughts and talk about some and answer some of these questions for you. But let's hit the like button, man. Do me a solid. It'll help the algorithm push to other like nation like yourselves, and it will be a recommended video for the Raiders fan base out there. BIK says, you're the man, Beast. Thank you so much, man. And look, I don't even know how I function, man. Like, I'm serious. I am dead serious. I mean, I watched so much film. My eyes start fluttering. You guys know what I'm talking about. If you watch film, scouts know what I'm talking about. You know, because sometimes you have to sit in a dark room. You have different screens up, you know, to kind of. Anyways, let's just talk about what I think might happen for the Raiders and Niners. There's some Niner fans in here. I know you guys want some Niner talk. Man, you guys be throwing shade at some of the Niners beat writers, though, man. For real. I think all of them put in good work. Come on. All of them put in their work, man. It's just different flavors, right? Different flavors, guys. And I'm not going back to the Niners. Stop spreading. Whoever's spreading those rumors, some of you guys I know are doing it. Stop it. I'm not going back to the Niners. You guys got to stop that. All right. So let's go ahead and talk about this. I know you guys want some draft coverage, so let's get to that. Am I surprised that Will Levis fell? Bo Kellen! That's what I said in the Raiders, right here in the Raiders media workroom when they showed him. I said, we got Bo Callahan. And we started bawling. We got Bo. And then, yeah, he went out of the first round. I was shocked. Now, it's been reports now that, oh, man, teams are falling off. They're not, they didn't. But then wasn't he going up as like 2 to 4, and then all this smoke that was coming up and all the money here in Vegas was on that. Like, oh, he can go as high as Houston, Texas. And they had multiple picks to take a stab at him. And like, nah, man, like, obviously you want to take 2 quarterbacks, but you know what I'm saying? Like 2 and 4. So you would think they would move up from 4 to 2, right? Or sorry, 2 to 4. So the Colts were high on. See, I'm getting mixed up. The Colts were high on Will Levis. He drafted at 4, and then they thought that they might move up to 2, and Nick Cassera moved back to 4, and yada. So Darnell Sanders says, appreciate you, Beast. Hey, I appreciate you too, man. But yeah, let's we have 31 likes and there's 46 people watching. Give this video a thumbs up, and then we'll go ahead and get those likes up, and then we'll push the algorithm to other like-minded nation like yourselves. Also, if you want to support through a super chat or a super sticker, y'all can do that here in the DOB, and it's a money icon at the bottom of the screen, so that would help out a lot. But then a like is free, 99. It doesn't cost a thing, and that's just as valuable, and so is engaging with me here on this platform and answering your questions. Look, there's a lot of people asking me a lot of different things and which direction they're going to go in, and that's why I got no sleep again, because I was like, you know what? This is not the time to feel sorry for yourself, man. This is time to get it right. So don't be surprised. This sounds as crazy as this sounds. Right? And I talked about this earlier on. I was teetering. I have different mock drafts, right? A, B, C, right? All different scenarios, right? Because you got to account for that, right? If A doesn't happen, at least we have plan B going on. If plan B doesn't happen, you have plan C going on. And so that's why it's crazy when I do this live streams and I have these different mock draft scenarios and your guys are thinking about it like, dude, he really has this. Yeah, you can't make this stuff on the fly. Like, there's no way. And some guys like, are you reading it off the script? No, man. Yeah, how can I do that? Like, oh yeah, like uh he was new to following us, obviously. Arkham Raider says, Beast, take an hour nap before the draft starts. Your brain needs to reset, brother. I was actually gonna go hit the gym. I haven't been to the gym. I went to the gym, I think, one time this week. But let's just kind of power through this since we're already on. We've been on for 25 minutes and 16 seconds. If you guys like what I have to say, give this video a thumbs up and also hit the subscribe button in the lower right hand corner of your screen as you stay up to date on all things Beast. Also, turn on the bell notification so you get notified when I go live and upload content, whether it be from home, doing these live streams, or here at Raiders headquarters, and also posting those exclusive videos. Some of you guys are asking why I'm not posting videos on Facebook groups and more, and the respective Facebook pages that I'm in. And here's the reason why: the admins there think they mark it as spam. They mark the actual videos that I shoot as spam because people are taking my videos, pretending they're here, and stealing it. They're content stealers. But what can I do? Well, I'm just not going to post in there anymore. Like, I'm just tired of it. So I ain't doing it. So I'm sorry for all you guys on Facebook. I'm just not going to take that route anymore. And provide that content because it's my content, but whatever. It isn't whatever. I'm pissed off, but what can you do? You know, people want to pretend to be somebody they're not. That's their own deal, and they have to look at themselves in the mirror in the end of the day. Salvatore Bruno says, who do you see best available in second round? Let's go ahead and get to that question. All right, Michael Mayer, a tight end, right? I like him a lot. And when I evaluate the game film, I wouldn't be surprised if the Raiders took a flyer on him in round 2. And the crazy thing about this is people are saying, no way we take a tight end. Well, I'm coming from San Francisco. I think I know how Jimmy Garoppolo likes to use the tight ends. And if you think OJ Howard and Austin Hooper, who I like Austin Hooper, I like him a lot. He could be the answer, the security blanket, but you can have another tight end. Why not go after a guy like Michael Mayer and create the iron sharpens iron mentality? Because do you have a strong enough conviction that Jesper Horsted, OJ Howard, and Austin Hooper, like, are you sold on that going into the season? Are you sold on that? Right? Salvatore Bruno says, predict 100% chance we move around in today's draft. Yep. That's definitely something that I predicted. I said they're going to move 2 to 3 times on draft day. And I said this is the meat and potatoes of how GM Dave Ziegler is going to leverage this draft, along with Champ Kelly, Brandon Yergin, right? All these guys. They're going to win today. All right. We're going to come back looking at this draft and saying, hey, look, we got some explosive starters here in this draft to create competition at the position. Yes, there's things that probably need to get cleaned up fundamentally wise, right? Maybe a cornerback's not staying patient at the line of scrimmage. Maybe he opens his hips up too early. Maybe he peaks too much in the backfield. Maybe he gets beat on double moves downfield. Why am I pointing these things out? Because all these cornerbacks that haven't been selected yet, and even some in the first round, there's a reason for that. Because all those cornerbacks that I graded have those issues. Can they stay in phase vertically? Do they know how to stay in phase? Do they know how to not take false steps? I mean, that's just from the boundary cornerback position, right? But you wouldn't know that analysis unless you actually watch the film and know what to look for. So the cleanest prospect in this class was Devin Witherspoon, right? The most complete cornerback in this draft class. He was in tier 1 on my big board. Oh, sorry, not my big board. Well, big board too, but my horizontal board, it was Devin Witherspoon, tier 2, Christian Gonzalez, and in a class of their own, to be honest with you. I mean, you can clump Deontay Banks in there. You can throw in Emmanuel Forbes in there because I love his ball skills. Gosh dang, that guy can freaking he might as well play wide receiver, punt returner. I like him a lot. I was like, dang, he went pretty high. Didn't he go to was it 17 to the Washington Commanders or Emmanuel Forbes? Right? Martin Mayhew got his man. Steven says Drew Sanders at 30. I love Drew Sanders, man. Dude, this guy, maybe I'm a Roll Tide Roll fan. I love Drew Sanders. Drew Sanders is the real freaking deal. And I don't here's the thing with Drew Sanders is like people can be like, oh man, like where does he fit? Like, dude, the guy Coach Graham can use Drew Sanders in a variety of different roles, right? He's a versatile linebacker. So you want to add versatility, right? That's the first thing you look for. Or if you want to establish the Raider, I think, look, the Raider way is very simple. tough, smart, dependable, right? Something that Tyree Wilson talked about today. I mean, go figure. Like, what did I say this time last year, right? If you're not smart, you're not even gonna be on the board, dude. Like, if you're dumb, like, dumb's a stupid like, nah, man, there's dumb questions being asked. Like, that's a dumb question. Like, right? And there's smart, educated questions, and then there's like in between questions. But like, nah, someone says like, no such thing as a dumb question. There's such thing as dumb questions. Like, that's a dumb question. Like, why waste my time with that dumb question, right? Anyways, there's 53. If you guys watching, give this video a thumbs up. I like Drew Sanders. I think he's smart. I think he's explosive. I think he understands how to win the leverage game. Now the question remains to be seen. Where is he going to come off, right? Because you can use him as a blitzer as well. Like, so if you're looking at it and saying, okay, you can't just plug and play this guy at inside linebacker and say this guy's going to be a good off-ball linebacker. What I see in his game, and you can look at him as a 4-3 off-ball linebacker. I think he's better suited. I think a 3-4 inside linebacker team is going to be drafting this guy, right? Will it be the Baltimore Ravens or even the Pittsburgh Steelers? There's a lot more teams now that are 34 base than, let's say, in the early 2000s, right? And I think because it's a pass happy NFL, you need more speed on the field. So how do you generate more speed on the field? Well, you have to take out one down lineman and put in an extra second level backer, right? I mean, you're not gonna have a guy like freaking Akeem Hicks, right, in on the passing down. If like you probably would, but he's a bad example. I don't know. Like, if you had like, think of somebody that's like, he's just a guy, like a 2-gap nose tackle. Like, you'd have to sub him out for a speedster, right? Like a guy who has like 4.5, 4.6 speed, who can kind of take down the seams, defend the curl flat, defend the curl hook, blitz, right? So that is Drew Sanders in a nutshell. I like Drew Sanders. He's going to come off the board 6'4", 235. I mean, I like what I see on film. I mean, that's a Roll Tide. I'm a Roll Tide fan, but he transferred to Arkansas. Man, Nick Saban, you should have kept him. Got Henry Toto, the transfer out of Tennessee, who I also like. Could the Raiders get one of these guys? Absolutely. I also like Jeremy, since we're on the subject of Tennessee, I like Jeremy Banks. I covered him at the East West Shrine Bowl festivities. Kind of has some swagger to him. I liked him. I don't know him personally, but I like him. But I like Drew Sanders because of his instincts and run support. That's something that Coach Graham likes, right? When you talk about why these defensive tackles struggle early on, right? Will it be Neil Farrell, Matthew Butler, and I asked this throughout the whole year. Well, why aren't these guys on the field? You gave up 2 5th-round draft picks to move up in the 4th round for my guy, Neil Farrell. What happened? And he's like, hey, man, like, you need to be able to ID the ball carrier. We have to understand spacing. You have to understand that, hey, once you ID the ball carrier, can you stack and shed, right? You can't just stack and not shed. Do you know how to flush plays back inside to your help based on down and distance formation? Do you know how to read your keys pre-snap? Do you know what your responsibility is in doing your job and just the fundamentals of what we're trying to establish here at Raider Way, right? These are things that you look for. These are things was why Kyle Pecco was inserted on the practice squad, brought up and elevated to the active roster, and then you guys saw how active Kyle Pecco was, right? So again, it goes back to what you know and what you don't know, right? And there's a small sample size to pull from. So we really don't know what Matthew Butler and Neil Farrell can actually do because they weren't given that opportunity. Actually, I shouldn't say given. Nothing given is here. Nothing is given. Nothing's given here. Everything is freaking earned, right? So you have to earn that, right? So in their eyes, they haven't earned it last year. This year, I mean, the most significant growth from a player is from year 1 to year 2. And that's why I'm telling you guys, nation, I'm telling the nation, man, like, do not say these guys are garbage. Don't say they suck, because you might eat your own words, man. I'm serious, because again, the first year you're getting acclimated to just the game of the NFL, right? The NFL game, the speed is faster. You have to process things a lot faster. Different style coaching techniques, schematically. So all that plays a role. And that's just the on-field stuff. What about the off-field stuff? What about just learning the NFL game from a professional and a standpoint, both on and off the football field, right? Oh, man. So, yeah. Austin Martinez says, yo, that script comment was meant to be a compliment, my guy. No, I get it, but I definitely do not have a script. But but I appreciate the love, man. Omar Juarez, thank you so much, Austin. By the way, I seen you in here, man, and I really do appreciate it. So mahalo to you. Omar Juarez says, "What's good, Beast? Go get some tropics in ya with some good food. Recharge day 2. Let's go." Let's go. There's 53 of you guys watching. If you guys like what I have to say, please give this video a thumbs up. I appreciate it. Really helps out the algorithm. That is free. Also, we've been on for 35 minutes and 9 seconds. If you guys would like to send and donate all the hard work and effort that I put into it and putting up these live streams and providing this exclusive analysis that you would otherwise wouldn't find anywhere else, please send me a super chat and super sticker if you can. Makes these definitely worthwhile. All right. So let me just get some coffee. I'm freaking tired. This is great. And no one's telling me, hey, man, like, you need to like tailor back. That's what's cool about being self-employed, right? Look, everyone wants to talk a big game, but actions speak louder than words ever will, right? I always say that. Actions speak louder than words ever will. Some guy says he's going to beat me on stage. We have a back and forth on social media. Like, okay, you don't have to say anything. You know, I'm like, okay, keep talking. Like when I step on stage, you're going to know. Oh, and then I step on stage and beat the mofo. You know why? Work hard in silence. Let your gains be your noise. Work hard in silence. Let your gains be your noise. That's the best way, because what they don't know, they don't know. And when you step on stage, it's too late. Oh man, he has a bigger back shot than me. Damn, I should have got a little bit wider. Should have been. That's on you, man, for talking too much. If you're gonna talk the talk, you better walk the walk. I'll kill you on stage. I'm joking. Not really, not though. Darnell Savage says, "I'll be satisfied if we come up with 2 out of the 3." Keanu Benton, that's my guy. That is my guy. Can we get Keanu Benton out of Wisconsin, please? Been saying it. Check the Beast receipts. Check the Beast receipts. Drew Sanders, another one. Check the Beast receipts. I like Deion Henley. I like this kid a lot. He's nonstop hustle, good special teams ace. He can provide aid in the kicking game, something that's often overlooked position. The valuation of him, you know, the more film I watch on this kid, the more I love this kid. I love his nonstop freaking motor, just like I liked Devin Witherspoon and fell in love about the play away from the play that we talk about, right? If you're going to run game film, you have to know what to look for. Oftentimes, I look at how a player reacts to plays that aren't in frame, where he's not in the picture. And you can pick up a lot of intel just from that, right? Because look, we all played with people who are lazy, right? If they're not in the play, they don't care about you making a pick 6 because they're not in the play. They didn't get the interception. So they're just going to be like, oh, yeah, I'm going to pretend I'm going to block and just dive at this offensive lineman's legs and be done with it. No, Devin Witherspoon's like, I'm looking for someone's head to take off. Like, he's coming out blazing. He has like a freaking machete in his hand. I'm joking. You guys know what I'm talking about, though. Tucker Mirror says, what's going on, Beast? Pumped to see who we draft into the Knights. I am pumped, Tucker. I am stoked, if you cannot tell. Cook Sports says Seattle just got Jackson Smith. We need speed to guard him and DK. Yeah. You're very well versed in the Niner land here, and I love it. I love all you guys, man. You guys know how I do in draft, man. You guys already know. McDaddy, thank you so much for the super sticker and super chat. I appreciate it, my guy. Means a lot. Yeah, so there's some questions rolling in here. I'm going to toggle. I know some of you guys watch on CTV. So I'm going to be toggling back on all the social media platforms that we're on, including Facebook. And again, I'm sorry not posting it on the Facebook groups and pages, but they're saying that my stuff that is my content is spam. Like the admins are getting, or they feel a certain way because they feel like whatever the case may be, right? Like all I'm doing is posting the content. I'm just saying, hey, look, like want to use it, but it's not spam. It's my stuff. Like, what are we doing as Julian Edelman? What are we doing? But some admins, it's not my first rodeo with the Niners. They just feel some type of way. They want to feel like all high and mighty, then let them feel all high and mighty. I don't know what else to tell you, man. Like, people have egos. I think everyone has ego. I have an ego too. I'm not gonna sit here and say I don't have an ego. I think we all have an ego to a certain extent. But let's calm down a little bit. Rafael Martinez says, Beast, who do you think I can't even read. Beast, who do you think could be value for our 2 picks in the third round. Catch up on sleep, brother. Beast Nation. Thank you so much, man. And I love how you guys gave me the nickname. It's funny on Twitter, people be like, "Oh man, you can't use Nation in here." And like, "Oh, is that a thing?" Like, I apologize. Like, I didn't mean, I wasn't given that name. The DOB family gave me that name, and so like. I posted on the dynamic between Twitter and YouTube is so different. Like Twitter's more like, like I'm better than you and blah, blah, blah. And then Facebook private groups are like the same way. YouTube is more like, well, YouTube can be the same way too. But in here in the DOB, it's not, because it's all about good vibes. Why? Because we have Niner fans in here. We have Raider fans in here. We have Steelers fans in here. We have Cardinals fans in here. Every Jets fans, Panthers fan, the list goes on. You already know. It's all about good vibes only in here. And that's what it's all about, right? Because I cover all 32. I really do. Even the, because again, if you're new to follow me, this is how I do it. If you're going to talk about the team you're covering, you better know the dynamics of the other 31 in order for me to analysis. At least for me. At least for me. I can't speak for anyone else, but that's why I put in that freaking work. That's how I do it. I've been known to do it. Niner fans, you know this. That's why you guys all still stick with me. There's no drop off in production. But no, to get to your question, what do you think could be value for our 2 picks in the third round? Look, this is what I see the value period. I think GM Dave Ziegler is going to make some couple trades here. He's going to trade 2 times for players that he likes. He's not going to trade back. He might trade back based on the valuation versus evaluation of the board, but he's going to strike 2 deals today on day 2, at least, if not 3. And I think some of these guys, based on the needs of these GMs, like, look, we can talk about all the GMs who didn't have a first round pick, right? Let's talk about that. Let's talk about who didn't have a first round pick. The 49ers are one of them, right? And I believe the Cleveland Browns are another, Miami Dolphins, and the Denver Broncos. So write that down. Write that down. Okay. Cleveland Browns, 49ers, Miami Dolphins, Denver Broncos, 34 base defense, 2 of the 4. Okay, let's go. But again, what did they do? What did the Cleveland Browns do, right? They went out and got Elijah Moore, who was like, I'm not playing for you, Robert Saleh. I want to be traded. Okay. I liked Elijah Moore coming out, Ole Miss. Thought he was a great slot receiver, right? But now he's on the Cleveland Browns. Team up with Dalvin Tomlinson and who else? I think it's Juan Thornhill from the Kansas City Chiefs, who I liked in the second round, since we're talking about day 2 picks. Juan Thornhill, if you go back to that draft class coming out of Virginia, I liked that cluster of players, right? That we talked about. And I said defensive backs is where the value is going to be on day 2. People are like, oh my gosh, oh yeah, what do you know? Blah, blah, blah. And I said the exact number, get this, the exact number of defensive backs I predicted going day 2 went in day 2. But how would you know that? You have to know the dynamics of the other 31. Like, you can't just throw out a rant. I didn't throw a generic number like 10. I didn't throw a generic number like 12. I didn't throw a generic, it was, the number was the number. And there was a run on defensive backs. But no, I like some guys here. Drew Sanders is definitely one of them. Deion Henley is another one. Henry To'oTo'o is another one. And then you also look at guys like, maybe you take a flyer. There's my guy Jeremy Banks. I'm looking at ESPN's list right now. Let me see what Jeremy Banks, what they say about him. Banks has outstanding range and is a heavy hitter. He is. He brings the hammer, not the nail. All right. He brings the hammer, not the nail. All right. Just letting you know. Jeremy Banks means business. And he ain't like my Roll Tide Roll swag, but whatever. Roll Tide Roll. He said, they say he explodes through the ball carrier. Yeah. So it's kind of like Bruce Lee, right? You don't see what you hit. You see behind what you're hitting. So you actually power through. Okay. So I see this. Look, Jeremy Banks could be a guy that I like. I like him. I also, there's the funny thing about this. I liked Trey Dean, Florida Gator safety, right? I saw him in practice, like, man, this guy's picking off balls left and right. He's playing well in practice. And then lead up to the game, I got to get this guy for an interview during the East West Shrine Bowl festivities. I was like, we have a list of who we want. He was on my short list. Interviewed him. Check the Beast receipts here on YouTube. And I said, man, he talks about his game a little bit, and he ran a 4.75 40-yard dash, and that kind of surprised me. I didn't see 4.7 when I was watching him in practice, and I was like, for him to run a 4.75, but yet still be the MVP of the game, means one of 2 things. 1, that game was just an anomaly, or 2, I have to go back and film and watch what I saw. But then, the more important thing that you look for, I think, is, does he have good instincts, right? Because you can kind of cheat your splits, how you see fit, pre-snap to post-snap play, based on what? Route recognition, down and distance, personnel, right? So obviously you wouldn't know those things because you're practicing during the East West Shrine Bowl festivities. So it's just basically, very vanilla coverages on the back end, very vanilla offense that you're seeing, right? But the fact that he can kind of have the instincts, right? Which there's different layers to this now. You're talking about instincts. And in my evaluation process, when I've been doing this and scouting players, you have to have instincts. I think that's one of the most important NFL traits that you need to have on any given position. But more importantly, especially when you're a free safety, right? Strong safety can maybe get away with it a little bit more, not by much, because in today's day and age, man, if you can't intertwinably do both, you're on the outside looking in and you're just be scheme dependent. Michael McCann, thank you so much for the super chat. He says, Beast, Mahalo, brother. Big night. Can't wait for the end of the third. Does Levis get drafted for his skill or his girlfriend? Wow. Wow. That is hilarious. That's funny. This is funny. This is funny. The 66 of you guys watching right now, if you guys like this video, if you like this comment, give this video a thumbs up. This is hilarious. Michael McCann, my guy, 49er fan, dropping the dime right here. We have a lot of Niner fans that always love this. Love draft day. Love Bo Callahan. We got Bo. What'd you give up for it? A first round pick this year and a first round pick next year. Well, that's not bad when you can get a player like Bo Callahan. And the year after that. Sonny, you're telling me that you gave up 3 first round picks. That's our future, Sonny. No, Bo Callahan's our future. Write that down. Write that down. As I just said, we gave up 3 for Bo Callahan. Yeah. We got Bo. Okay. And then they go. That's funny. This is a draft day reference to girlfriends and whatever. And the scouts are doing research on the girls that he's dating or whatever, the over under. And then Kevin Costner or Sonny comes in and he's like, I'm completely losing my. Funny. Oh, my guy, Kyle Ryan in the house. Phi Kappa Psi, you already know, bro, from San Diego State. Holla. He says, keep putting in the work. LEDN. LEDN, thank you so much, my guy. Kyle, appreciate you. LEDN, if you don't know, Phi Kappa Psi, we're Phi Psi from San Diego State University. It means live ever, die never. You already know how we roll. Do it like a Phi Psi. Team no sleep. You already know. Talked about Phi Psi yesterday, actually. And there's people asking me what fraternity I was in. I'm a Phi Kappa Psi. Proud to be a Phi Psi. And yeah, the brotherhood's strong here, man. Like we're tight. Like when we're a brotherhood, we're a brotherhood. And yeah, like I will never be felt that, sometimes, in different fraternities, I talk to friends on different fraternities. They're kind of like, yeah, it wasn't really a brotherhood. And I was like, oh man, like, he's like, what about you? You still keep in touch with everyone? I was like, hell yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I still keep in touch with everyone. And there's some people here in Vegas, right? So, yeah, Mike, of course, absolutely. The Phi Kappa Psi fraternity is, at the time, we had the largest endowment fund in the country. So there you have it. Yeah. Proud to be a Phi Psi. Thank you so much, my guy. I appreciate you. Jim Z says Tyree is going to be a stud. Yeah, let's talk about Tyree Wilson. Here's a reaction show on my Tyree Wilson, right? So he comes in here to the media workroom and we're sitting down with him. And I have a few questions. If you guys haven't checked out my shorts videos, be sure to share that and spread the word. I know right now I found 2 people stealing those videos already. Pisses me off, but content stealers are going to be content stealers and they're not content creators. They just regurgitate my work, pass it off as their own. Kind of BS. It's happening. I already see it. And so anyways, I asked Tyree Wilson, who was your toughest opponent one-on-one? And he mentioned the player that you guys can all tell. And he said Bijan Robinson. And then I asked him, some things about his game, right? Like, what he brings to the table. He said he didn't even mention NFL traits. He said, I'll bring a tough
smart, and dependable player. I thought that was very, 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 very good. Because a lot of times he'd be like, yeah, I bring a strong pass rush, and he did say that, all right, but it wasn't in that comment to my question. I thought that was very, very cool. Like man, and he said, team player and all this other good stuff, right? I just want to win, and that's what you're getting. I just want to win. Like whatever the team needs me to do, that's what I'm gonna do, right? So again, he's unselfish. There's sometimes you could be the best player on the team, but if you're selfish, you're not gonna be here in Raider way. I tell you that right now. I hated that. Hate's a strong word, but I hated players that were selfish. It's like, no, man, like we lost the game, but I scored 35 points. That's on you. It's like, no, man, you scored 35 points because you took 7,000 shots. Yeah, but I scored 35 points. Yeah. And you feel good about yourself and your ego, but then you weren't doing your job on the defense side of the. I had to help your ass all the time. Oh, tell me. In high school, I got into it. Not team captain. Got in some fights. I'm telling you, as team captain, people want no. Ain't gonna roll. If you have a me person, ain't gonna happen. Ain't gonna happen. Eliza Rodriguez says, what about Drew Sanders? Is he on Raiders draft board? And it's up to the captains to set the tone too, because coaches have a voice, but then from a player's perspective, they also have a voice, right? Sometimes it resonates better from a player perspective than a coach player perspective or a GM player perspective, right? It's different layers to this. Different players react differently to different coaching styles or different teaching styles, as I like to say. Even when I coached football and basketball, you got to have every individual, it has to be coached up differently. You have to know what makes him tick, right? Some people like positive reinforcement and need that. Others don't. They want constructive criticism. Me, and then some want the combination of the two, right? Praise them when they're doing well, but then say, hey, look, like you did this well, but there's always a but behind the why, right? Why is this player good, right? So yeah. But thank you so much. What about Drew Sanders? Is he on Raiders draft board? I don't know. I don't know about this. I mean, I'm pretty sure I have intel. Like I know what they're doing on their draft. I have no idea. Like that. If I knew that, I wouldn't have picked Tyree Wilson. I would have picked Tyree Wilson. But hey, maybe they did have Paris Johnson on the board. And again, that's just based on what I feel and how I see this team and watching them in practice and so forth, right? So I don't know where they have Drew Sanders rated on their board. I do think that they're very high on Drew Sanders. I like him personally. I think he flashes. But at the end of the day, it's like, okay, what are our other needs though? Like, what else do we need? We need cornerbacks. What about Julius Brents, right? I like Julius Brents a lot, And you see NFL traits. Kylie Ringo, I talked about my guy, Case Kiefer. He's high on him because he's a big Georgia fan, but he also likes his game. And we talked about it right here in Raiders headquarters, right off, here in the media workroom. I'm in my own office here, little area. It's not my office, but a little back area here. And Case is like, oh, I know you don't like Kylie Ringo that much, but I like him. I was like, dude, I see Pro Bowl traits in his game. Like, I see it. And he's like, well, we're talking about day 2 picks. I was like, I would love to have Kylie Ringo here on day 2 for sure. But I have a round 3 grade on them, right? In any given draft. But these cornerbacks are going to be pushed up because, again, I only had 16 round 1 grades, right? And that's being generous. So we're going to see. We're going to see. Mario says, I want the Raiders to get Hendon freaking Hooker. Who likes Hendon Hooker? I like Hendon Hooker. Ooh, Mario says Julius Brents in the 3rd. Here we go. He said that on 256. So he said it. I think he said it before I even just put it up here. See, I'm not even keeping track. I got to keep track of these comments. My bad, dude. Oh, R Vegas says, I hope not. 25 years old, ACL, shaking my head. Yeah, ACL injuries are a concern. Austin Martinez says Hooker would be a reach at 38. If Will Levis, see, you guys can see, I'm not making this up. Will Levis is already falling out of the 1st round. Yep, that is very true. I wouldn't draft Will Levis simply because I don't trust him. Who puts mayonnaise in their coffee? Like, that's weird. Like, I wouldn't want to be sitting
in a pregame meal with this guy, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I just woke up. I need my coffee and mayonnaise." I look at this dude, I'm like, that is disgusting. Like, I am not going to be sitting with you, man, because you be eating mayonnaise and coffee. Like that I can't eat my food because you're eating your food and your food kind of weird. Like for real though, I honestly I would get grossed out by that. Like if you even said whipped cream and coffee, I'd be like more inclined to be like, oh, that's weird, but okay, that's your thing, right? Because I can kind of tie it to a frappuccino and whatever, right? In my head. But mayonnaise and coffee, mayonnaise and coffee. I'm joking. I wouldn't. I'm joking, but not. I wouldn't sit. Definitely, I wouldn't have breakfast with this guy for sure. DMS says, don't forget to hit the like button. I wouldn't pull him off the board because of that. I'm like, I don't trust this guy. Look, people think I'm weird because I eat In-N-Out and Krispy Kreme and make a Krispy Kreme In-N-Out donut burger out of it. And people think I'm crazy for doing that. DMS says, don't forget to hit the like button. Yeah, there's 52 of you guys watching right now. Give this video a thumbs up. I appreciate it. Austin Martinez says, do you think the Mayo thing is what plummeted his stock? No, I'm joking here, guys. Don't take this as I heard on BEASTwriter's channel that he dropped because it was mayonnaise and coffee. No, I don't believe that had anything to do with it. But I think I was watching here on ESPN or NFL Network that they're saying teams kind of just shied away from him for whatever his character reasons are or whatever. I couldn't really make it out, so I don't want to spread rumors, but go check it out. It's on ESPN. He's falling for certain reasons. I don't know what that reason is, but he is falling. Mario says, undercover, brother. R. Vega says, well, Levis was just playing, but then again, he plays too much. That is some crazy stuff, though, man. Yeah. And you have to look at that because you're the face of the franchise, though, right? Like the guy that you bring in is the face, so you cannot have a Jalen Carter like issue. Like that is a non-negotiable, right here at Raider Way. I think and then again, I don't know what their draft board. They brought him in for a pre-draft visit, but again, what I tell you, everyone's clowning on Vic, and I told you in real time, right? The Beast receipt checks out. I was like, if he's on the board, I'm rolling with Vic that they're not going to draft him. So maybe he is off the board. You just hiding the value of Jalen Carter in case the team wants to move up, like the Philadelphia Eagles, and draft Jalen Carter, because then you're diminishing the value of the pick if you just report to us in the media that he's off your board. I said that in real time. And then I also said that the Philadelphia Eagles were going to trade up for Jalen Carter, and they did. So anyways, give Vic his credit, man. He's good. Like I said, he wouldn't be here and be one of the longest tenured beat writers here if he didn't know his stuff and had good sources. Obviously, that source checked out, right? He was on the board. They brought him in for a visit, and they decided to roll the other way. And so people be like, oh, man, we should have took Jalen Carter. He's the best. Look, the risk versus reward game is we're going to look back at this in 1 or 2 years. And yes, can he be a generational talent? There's no question. But if you're sitting there and you're Champ Kelly or you're GM Dave Ziegler or you're Sean Herock or you're one of these guys, Brandon Yergin, and you're saying, hey, look, talent's not the question. The question is, can we live with the results of what he does off the football field? And do we want to bring in a player where we have to dedicate more time, more hours into a player that really doesn't get it? Because look, that shows a sign of immaturity that he couldn't finish his freaking pro day, right? Being 9 pounds overweight. Who does that? Would I step on stage 9 pounds overweight and expect to win the show? No. It's water weight, bro. Hell no, ain't no water weight. People say all the time, oh, he came in heavy. It's water weight. Really? 9 pounds, 10 pounds, 12 pounds, 15 pounds overweight, and it's water weight? Get out of here with that, bro. That's called fat. Big says, do you think the 49ers trade up for an offensive tackle or a cornerback? The Niner fans are just wanting you guys want this. You guys want the work. I love it. I respect it. Respect. To answer your question, I mean, look, the 49ers, let's look at what they have, right? And what their needs are, right? And when I ran the grades on them, and of course, you guys know how they roll and everything like that. And so you look at the 49ers and look what they have, right? So again, they did some things here, right? And just pull up what let's pull up what they have right now. So you get John Feliciano from the New York Giants, right? And Javon Hargrave, of course, is why the reason I said the trade up and everything in between. And they got Cleve Farrell from the Raiders. And you guys want my analysis. And I broke that down for you. I like Cleve Farrell. I ain't like him at 4, but I like Cleve Farrell as a person. And I think he's going to do wonders in that wide 9. Here's a question. You guys have O-line help. You guys, that's not a question, right? You guys need defensive end help. You need outside linebacker help, and you need boundary cornerback help. So you need help on defense. So to answer your question, I don't think they will trade up. Joking. I do think they're going to trade up. I think they're going to go ahead and get, if I had to take a guess, of the two, now Emmanuel Mosley's now off the Detroit Lions. We already know this, right? People are like, oh, well, the Lions are going to go after a cornerback. And I was like, I'm not so sure, because they went after 2 Tennessee products who played together in Cam Sutton and Emmanuel Mosley, both with starting experience, one with the Steelers, the other one with the Niners. All the mocks are saying. You just never know. And I think they actually would have went cornerback, but you can't just make that conviction and be like, oh, they traded Jeff Okudah, so they're going cornerback now. They trade Jeff Okudah, number 3 pick out of the Ohio State University. Now they're going to go cornerback now. They gave up on them. Lewis Dixon said Lewis was a leader in Kentucky. No, I think they might, man. Lewis a leader in Kentucky, and we badly beat AR in Florida this past year. All right, there's 43 of you guys watching right now. Give this video a thumbs up if you like what I have to say. And I'm just going to go over some questions in regards to Tyree Wilson, right? So we talked about Tyree Wilson, what he brings to the table. Talked about it, and just watch my shorts. I put up some shorts here on YouTube for all you guys. Tyree Wilson opened up on a variety of different things. You know, he opened up on what he brings to the table, to the Raider way. I talked about his personal goals, right? What are his goals like for his rookie year, right? Because you always have to have some goals, right? If you don't come in with goals, like every year as a beat writer, I come in with goals. Like I want to hit this many subscribers. I want to build up the community this way. I want to keep doing these giveaways. You know, there's money toward that, right? That I dedicate toward that. So everything that's funneled back into the DOB family here on YouTube. But everybody has goals, right? Like my goal is to provide you the best Raiders content that I can provide from a beat writer perspective through watching game film, having game grades, and then covering all 32 NFL teams so I can formulate the analysis on the team that I'm actually covering, which is the Las Vegas Raiders, right? Same format and blueprint that I use with the San Francisco 49ers. So I want to do that, right? How do I go ahead and do that, right? And it's like, okay, I have to have the scheduled live streams and do this. So I asked Tyree Wilson, great kid. I love this kid. I cannot not root for this kid. Big smile on his face. I mean, the guy just lights up the room. The question remains to be seen, right? So I ask him, what's your goals? And he says, hey, man, I just want to win, right? He didn't say, hey, I'm looking to win defensive rookie of the year. I'm looking to put up 10 plus sacks. Those are individual accomplishments. And these are questions that you ask from a scouting perspective. And some of the questions I asked at the East West Shrine Bowl festivities, right? And it's all here on the Beast Receipts. You guys can see the questions that I formulate. Again, you want to ask good questions to evaluate the player as a person. You get what I'm saying? Because we all wear different hats, but you have to know how this guy reacts on and off the football field. You can pick up little cues because you can't prepare for every question that I'm going to ask you. Like you can't make stuff up. Now they get coached up on some of this stuff, right? The generic questions. But then if I ask you, hey, do you hate to lose more than you love to win? They're going to be like, what? Excuse me? Do you hate to lose more than you love to win? If the answer is, I love to win, right? More than I hate to lose. No, man, it's more, the answer should be, I hate to lose more than I love to win, right? Hate to lose is the answer. Hate to lose. But that answer should be genuine. It shouldn't be like, oh, you get coached up on that. Because think about it logically. If I came off a game and we won, I'm like, okay, that's a good feeling. I can go home and I can sleep at night, right? Even though I had a bad game, right? If we lost and I had a good game, that would be on, and I had like 4 to 5 touchdowns, doesn't matter, right? I would still be upset because that would be in my mind. Like, I don't care what I did. I didn't do enough, gain that extra yard for us to win that football game. And that's going to stick with me until the next game. And that just comes from within, right? That just comes from within. So I hope you guys learned something about this, right? So there's certain questions that are asked when they bring guys in for pre-draft visits, whether it be with the Niners or at Levi Stadium or here with the Raiders or with the Steelers, right? Ravens, they all have their little formation of questions that they ask to kind of assess whether or not this player is the cultural identity that they want to bring in to help raise that cultural identity. You don't want a cancer. You definitely don't want a cancer. So, yeah. But I hope Jalen Carter does well. Like, I really do. I mean, this guy could be the next, like, I'm not gonna say Aaron Donald. I'm not gonna go that far. I mean, this guy can be. He's a generational talent, right? That word gets often thrown out, but that's pretty much it. All right, I think I'm going to end this live stream because we're supposed to have lunch around this time. So I'm going to go ahead and head off this live stream. There's 44 of you guys watching. Hit the thumbs up button. I just want to give a special shout out to those that supplied me with those super chats. So I just want to give a special shout out to you guys before we head out. So thank you so much. Let's do it. McTeddy, thank you so much. Rafael Martinez, thank you so much. Michael McCann, really, really appreciate it. Thank you, Kyle Ryan. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And again, couldn't do it. Couldn't do this without you. Let me just go a little bit slower. I don't know what's wrong. What's going on in here with my chats? So thank you so much, McTeddy. Thank you for the super chat today. Really appreciate it. Rafael Martinez, thank you so much for your super chat as well. Michael McCann, thank you so much. You're always down to talk 49ers football with you. Kyle Ryan, thank you so much. Live ever, die never, my guy. I see you. And I see all of you. So thank you, everyone, for sending me all the super chats and stickers and all the engagement here and all the likes. Just as good. So I'm going to check out. I'm going to get some lunch, and then I'm going to get ready for the NFL draft as we break down day 2 here at Raiders headquarters. Thank you so much. Have a good night. BEASTwriter out.